Speak Ross.
Hi, my name is Anna.
And I'm Peyton.
And today, what are we doing today?
Today, we are back with more requested reactions, and today we will be reacting to 2 Dreamcatcher songs.
The first one we'll be reacting to is Deja Vu, and then the second one that we'll be reacting to is Scream. The reason why we chose these two is just because these are the ones that were requested. So if you want us to react to more Dreamcatcher in the future and some of their older content, then feel free to request it down below.
I am somewhat familiar with Dreamcatcher. I have a couple of close friends who are really big fans of Dreamcatcher, so I feel like I have taken it in like from the side tangentially, but I don't really know the members too well, and I also know they have more of like a edgy concept than most girl groups do.
Besides like a cursory look at their profiles that I did before this, I've never listened to their music before, but I have heard through like the internet that they have like a darker, edgy concept, and like a lot of their songs sound like they could be anime themes, which is very intriguing. So
let's go.
This is already like creepy.
It does sound, but it sounds like an anime intro.
No, but like the intro of the music video, the long dress just like walking down.
It's kind of like Ghost Bride, Ghost Royalty-esque.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
The background, like the double layered vocals are nice though. It's like a good effect for what they're going for.
It makes it haunting.
Oh, that was nice. The holding this pain part.
Was that like a Last Supper reference just then? Wait, is it?
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like a theme, yeah.
I've been told that they're like really good dancers, and I saw the magic trick one.
I feel like those costumes, they look kind of cool with the arm movements, but I feel like that's also a big hassle to like work around. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
I was gonna say, likely what happened though is they choreographed it with those costumes in mind, so the movements are made to show off the arms, which is why they're doing a lot of the like yeah. But yes, it is still kind of frustrating to work with. So are they knighting each other because they're kneeled, or is it like?
But it also looks very aggressive,
right?
Yeah. Also, why is it mirror or like opposite sides this time? Do blue roses mean anything?
That was the name of their most recent comeback, was Blue Rose.
Oh, that's so cool. Wait, what?
I don't know why I know that, but
it's just like really rock.
yeah.
But then the chorus is really rock contrasted with like the very delicate and sentimental verses. What? What? Wait, huh?
What? They look like fairies, or this kind of reminds me of, you know, like books that are based in like the Fae courts.
Ah, yeah.
That's what it reminds me of.
I'm so intrigued. I feel like whoever was just singing that part during the chorus, their singing style is very interesting to me. It's like different. I'll elaborate later. Am I going crazy, or were those like arrows, like flame arrows in like the sun thing. I don't know.
I thought they were like burning swords. So since we do have another video to get to, I will try to be quick. So obviously the theme, like deja vu and experiencing things again, is represented in the dance. And you could see this in the music video, but I did, full disclosure, watch the dance practice just to see it better. Two particular moments that stuck out to me that I think are the most obvious because they use them over and over again is in the chorus. They do this thing, and so obviously you're like seeing something, but they do it in a ripple effect, and so it's kind of like you're experiencing it over and over again, but it's a little bit blurry, kind of like when you experience deja vu, and it's like, oh, I feel like I felt this, but like I'm not entirely sure, that sort of feeling. And that was the feeling that the dance gave. And it wasn't just there, it was a couple of other places too where they had the ripple effect going, but it wasn't like a sharp cannon. It wasn't like 1, 2, 3, 4 starting. It kind of feels like when waves are going like back and forth and it's this ebb and flow motion, and so it never fully stops, but it never fully starts either. That was kind of what it felt like, and it's just that deja vu feeling. And then the ending is reminiscent of the beginning, but they do it backwards, so it is like you're experiencing something for a second time. I mean, I love when concepts match the dance and it's not just a dance put to a song, so I thought that was really cool. I would also be willing to bet that at least 2 of them, and I don't know their names, I'm sorry, but at least 2 of them grew up dancing and had dance training prior to being trainees. They really stuck out. They just moved slightly differently, and you can tell, usually, generally, the difference between people who have had dance training longer than just as trainees. And it was just very apparent because they have some fan kicks in there, and their fan kicks were higher, their legs were straight, their feet were pointed, which is always what I look for, is like, are you pointing your feet or are your feet not pointed? Because that's usually a tell of someone that has had ballet training or like classical training of some nature. And then I really liked the concept. I'm not entirely sure what it was supposed to be, but like I mentioned in the reaction, it had that like very royal, regal feel. Haunting, dark, everything's beautiful on the surface, but there's something lurking underneath. And so, yeah, that was really cool. I really liked the concept. So, I think that's all I have to say. Anna, your turn.
I am very intrigued. Just because like this whole style type of song, not even just like the format of how it goes, but like the genre in itself, I feel like I haven't really heard it as often in K-pop. And I feel like in the cases that I have heard it, it usually is like a male group doing it. But just talking about the song itself, I mean, like obviously the verses were more sentimental, contrasted with a really intense chorus section, and then the ending also gets really intense. But like for the sentimental parts, there's like piano playing and the strings, and then in the chorus there's like electric guitar, and then also they have these background vocals that sound kind of like a choir, just saying like oh or ah, just like on like layered in a chord, that add a really haunting element to it. But then also background vocals in the sentimental parts highlighted as well, so they made really good use of their background vocals, because in the sentimental parts they have like harmonies on top to emphasize certain points, and then I think towards the end of the song it might be the bridge section, I'm not really sure, they have these really beautiful upper harmonies happening. Talking about the contrasting sections of the song, their vocals also reflected that. In the verse parts, the more sentimental parts, they sing very breathy and very light. But then I mentioned whoever is singing in the chorus, and also I'm sorry because I don't know her name. It might be multiple people, it might just be one person. But I was very intrigued because I feel like their singing style is just different from what I typically hear in like a K-pop girl group. It sounds more grounded. Like obviously they're singing with a lot more like intensity because the chorus is more intense, but also the vowels sound more rounded, and I think it matches like the very round, I think it's O or that I mentioned the background vocals are doing. And then also I'm pretty sure there's a key change for the end of the song. But overall, and I know I'm gonna say it again, I'm just very intrigued because I know that this song isn't really the typical style of music that I go out of my way to listen to on my own, but it's different and I'm intrigued. So that being said, next.
Okay, so now we're going to be watching Dreamcatcher's Scream. And yeah, let's just get into it.
So the thumbnail makes it look very bright. And now it's dark. Okay, never mind. Oh. The boom boom. Yeah. Oh. Interesting.
It's got those fantasy vibes again.
Yeah. How long ago was this one again?
I think it was like 5 months ago, if I remember looking at it correctly.
Stones at me. Oh.
Wait, the Pillars. Is this a continuation of the last one?
Oh, do they have a story arc too? That'd be interesting.
Do you know what the tree reminds me of?
Tree of Life.
Yeah.
I know. Burning Flame now? Oh, I think I've heard this in clips on like Instagram as I scroll through.
Is it like a nightmare? Because you know Dreamcatcher, is that why they have dark concepts? Because Dreamcatchers catch dark nightmares.
That would make sense to me. Oh, this music video is so trippy. Oh my god.
Spreading out within the darkness, scream. Oh.
I'm just thinking of Jabberwockies. Because of the masks.
Yeah.
It's her. It's her. Who is she? She's the one with the voice.
Xion.
That I was talking about.
According to the captions, her name is Xion. But I hear what you mean.
Oh, it's different. There's just more grit to her voice. Her too, Husua.
Yeah. That's a really pretty headpiece.
Yeah. I was gonna say, their costumes, their outfits in this whole thing.
They're beautiful.
When they had like the black lace parasol, I was just like, Adam's Family?
Ooh.
I'm sorry, I just like went silent. But it definitely seems like a continuation because they have the sword still and like the pillars.
So many storylines.
Oh god.
I wonder who does their choreography. To be continued.
Yep, it's a story arc.
First thing I want to say is I watched their dance practice video and I think I can actually answer one of my own questions from in the reaction because I was like, oh, I'm curious who did the choreography, but I noticed that they were dancing in Tapaha dance space. It could just be that they're using that rehearsal space, but it's more likely that one of the Tapaha instructors did the choreography, and if that's the case, then it makes sense why the choreography style looked familiar to me, because I'm familiar with several of the Tapaha dance instructors. Anna, you're familiar with at least one of them, because you know Mihawk Back. It's a very specific style, which is not uncommon for different dance studios to have different styles, because you have a creative director or an artistic director who prefers certain things. In the same way that we talk about like different entertainment companies have certain styles, dance studios do it too. So if one of the choreographers did this choreography, it makes a lot of sense to me, because when I was watching it, I was like, okay, this feels very familiar. And not in a bad way either, it's just like the style felt familiar. But this one, compared to Deja Vu, this one was like obviously a lot more hard-hitting the whole time, it felt like. Like obviously it still had the slower moments, but I felt like the last one was more haunting and ethereal, and this one I felt kind of like I was being like pulled into a nightmare the whole time. It was kind of like you're on the edge of your seat the whole time. And the dance is like that too, where for the most part they are attacking it the whole time. And then the weird thing was that they were doing, every once in a while they would have a slower sustained movement in a place you weren't expecting it. Like for instance, the very beginning of the chorus, if you were just listening to it, you would think, oh, there's gonna be a lot of dancing going on there because there's a lot going on in the song. But instead they do a really slow, sustained hip isolation, and it kind of makes you feel unsettled, like the contrast between the music and what's happening in the dance. And then that also, I was like, ooh, that's really like, it's kind of unsettling, but it really goes with the concept because it's this like unsettled, like nightmarish kind of like oh, it worked really well together, and so I thought that was really cool. There is one thing that I was kind of interested in, because the song several times mentions like devil eyes or like devil, and they do like this thing a lot, and I was like, are they doing devil horns? And like that's like how it ends. And so I thought that was really interesting, if that's what it was being reminiscent of. And even if it's not like specifically devil horns, it's like demon, nightmare, that sort of thing. It's creepy. Basically, this is creepy. And like here for it, because everyone knows how I like my creepy stuff. I mean, like obviously it's not a full story because it literally says to be continued, but as a standalone, this just feels very like nightmare, I'm drawing you in, you can't escape, that sort of thing. But yeah, that's all my comments. Anna's turn.
So yeah, what you were saying, like how the song feels really intense, but then there are only like little moments of reprieve, that's literally one of my comments. There are short moments where the instrumental pulls back and it's a little bit quieter, but even then it's like really short, or it's like only for one line, and then it immediately goes back in and like brings in another layer of percussion, or just like goes back hard, and it's just really overwhelming. Like the entire time the song is just like this force coming at you. It's kind of like an army, and I felt that way because like also I noticed right off the bat that they had backup dancers this time, so there's also just like more people there too, so visually you feel more overwhelmed, and then like what you're listening to in your ears through the music, you feel more overwhelmed, so like all your senses are being attacked. Just talking about little things, at the beginning in the reaction I pointed out the dun 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 dun, and I realized what it reminded me of is kind of like a pirate song, like Pirates of the Caribbean, like the instrument that they use and like the rhythm. Also the girl with the voice, her name is Shion, and her singing style is just so interesting to me, and it's basically like what I said in Deja Vu. She also just sounds more grounded. There's just more grit to her voice, and I really like it. It's just so interesting and different. And then also for the song as well, they have like cool effects in the background. So like one thing that kind of popped out to me was in the rap section, there's like this growl that happens, and it adds to the whole like nightmarish concept, like something lurking, because the rap section is also one of the moments where it's not really like quiet, but it's like a dial down from like the rest of the song. Also in the chorus, one thing that I thought was really cool was like, yeah, they have background vocals, but the part where it has scream multiple times in the background, each time it says scream, there's another like layer added to it on top of the chord, like building on top of it, and it just adds this feeling of like the intensity is building, like my anxiety is building, I'm getting more anxious, like something is lurking and I don't know what's happening. Or it could be another thing of like the screams being layered and more voices being added to the screams is like there are more people coming, like this army that's like overwhelming you is building. That's basically all that I had to say. So TLDR,
we both just watched Dreamcatcher for the first time and we are intrigued. This is a very different concept than what we are used to seeing in female groups in K-pop, and yeah, I feel like intrigued is just the best word to describe how we feel about both of these songs. Do you agree, Anna?
Yeah.
That's literally the TLDR.
Cool. Okay. So that being said, if you liked this video, then please leave a like, comment, subscribe, turn on your notification bell, and bye.